Hello and welcome to another episode of the Make It Epic Wedding Podcast. You're here with Tim and Matt. Hey Matt, how are you, mate?
G'day, mate. I am doing all right. I can't complain. It's I would say by the time this episode comes out, I'm going to be bloody deep in wedding season goodness, and it's going to be all happening. I've been looking at the forecast. I've got a lot of weddings coming up over the next week, and like every day is meant to be 35 degrees plus. So
How good is it?
I'm wearing shorts, everybody, and just letting you know out there, if you see me at a wedding, I'll probably be in shorts because I ain't wearing no long pants.
Oh man. I hope you got some trimmers in the car just to trim those hairs back because you got some hairy legs, brother.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. It's extra warmth and protection from the sun. What's happening, mate? What's going on?
Oh, I am just like prepping for this wedding season. So wedding season's obviously begun. But I mean, I've tried to, get into the habit of like a good routine and making sure that, I'm doing things with the family as often as I can. Focusing on my health. I bought a cold like plunge pool, like one of the inflatable like plunge pools that you can throw the ice in. So I can have a ice bath every morning. So I'm excited for that for sure. It is a lot of ice, But
nice on tap.
it's good, man. It's actually pretty funny. So it was on my story the other day that like I'm with some of my mates, like we're doing like this health challenge at the moment, and they're like, oh, like we have to do the raw egg like challenge where we got to like see how many eggs we can eat raw for a couple of days. So I'm like, yep, sweet. Like let's just put three eggs in a cup, downed it. I was like, oh, that's actually easier than I thought. Like disregarding the snot consistency. But I feel like I like broke the internet. Like so many people were like, oh my God, like you're going to get sick. You're going to die. Like, why would you do that?
Salmonella, here we come.
Mate.
Yeah, you're a bit crazy.
The things you do. Just trying a couple of different things, just getting the right headspace, getting the right, feeling good while we got a busy year ahead and making sure I can create some good stories. Because, man, I'm sitting in my chair like 8-10 hours a day. Like it's pretty hectic.
Yeah, but we don't really just do simple things, do we? Like we're always taking things to another level. We're always trying to do new things, and I suppose if we had the opportunity where we probably would just be shooting weddings and doing our thing, but instead we have a podcast, and then on top of the podcast we have all these other things that we're trying to do and wanting to do, and we've got like our Student Ninja course, and then we're creating some resources. Maybe no, they won't be out yet. But anyway, some of the resources we're doing, I was going to say, maybe no, that won't happen. But anyway, watch this space because there are resources coming out for you if you are planning your wedding. We are very excited by these. We haven't told anybody about them. I don't know why. Are we going to keep it a secret? Yeah, we'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, let's keep it a secret. But talking about planning a wedding, we've got an absolutely epic guest today, mate. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what do we have planned today?
We have two legends jumping on today. We thought we'd follow in the steps of Caitlin and Aiden when we had them on, and we grabbed Jaz and Jarrod, and these guys are planning their wedding for the middle of next year, and they are, let's say, rather organized. And I think you'll gather pretty quickly when you listen to this episode that Jaz is a different type of human when it comes to planning. She's amazing. And Jarrod is just one of those guys that's just a classic boy. I would say he's just kind of going with the flow and doing his thing. And these guys are getting married next year down in Tilba. And it's gonna be amazing. I am so keen for this one.
Oh man, and let's preface this. Their wedding is 10 months away, so they are absolutely on the ball. Like they have most things planned. Like they have gone through our they are clients of ours, so they've gone through our storytelling process, and our pre-wedding questionnaires, and it's really good to see how much their personality that they're infusing into their own wedding.
Yeah, they're definitely valuing a lot. I even remember when Jaz filled out my questionnaire, she was like, oh, I'm going to make sure I put a lot of effort into this, so I'm not going to fill it out right now. And I was like, oh, that's amazing, right? I will also, I guess, just throw it out there that if you are out there planning your wedding and you're 10 months away from your wedding and you're like, oh my goodness, these people are very organized, it's okay. You don't have to be that organized. Don't stress yourselves out. Everyone is a different level of planning.
Yeah.
If you listen to last week's episode, I think when you jump into today's one, you'll know very quickly that Jaz calls herself a certain personality type. So if you've listened to one of the recent episodes, you'll know that as well. But yeah, today's episode is amazing. These guys are a bunch of fun. And I think the reason why me and Tim were keen to get them on too is they are very specific in the plans that they have and what they want from their wedding. They do say that, they are quite young and that they don't necessarily want to have a stock standard wedding, and it does want to be a little bit different and a little bit epic. And so, yeah, we're super excited to have these guys on. So hope you get a little bit of golden nuggets and a little bit of inspo out of today's episode with Jaz and Jarrod.
Yeah, there's definitely some golden nuggets dropped. So enjoy this episode. Oh, Jaz, Jarrod, welcome to the podcast. So good to have you on.
Thanks for having us, guys. Really good to be here. Zilla in the house.
Zilla in the house.
If you haven't listened to our episode where we talk about our personalities a few weeks ago, go back and listen to that because Zilla will be a great reference that maybe used multiple times on this episode.
Yeah, we've just started a new trend. But that's right. Jaz, Jarrod, let us give us a little bit of introduction. Who are you guys? What do you do? And more importantly, what stage are you in for your wedding planning?
Jarrod, do you want to take it away?
My name's Jarrod. I'm the head swim coach at San Susie Leisure Centre, so I'm in charge of all the squads there. Quite a stressful job, I like to think, but no, it's good. It's very rewarding with all the kids I get to work with and seeing them achieve a lot of their goals. And yeah, working early mornings and afternoons can be quite a drag and quite energy draining, but nevertheless still fun.
Yeah, as we do this podcast at 8:30 at night.
Basically, I should be in bed right now sleeping. That's fine. Yeah, and as for all the wedding planning stuff, that's all on my lovely fiance. I'm sure we'll be able to go through it all.
Brownie points.
That pillow looks real nice behind you, mate, but that's all right.
Hi, I'm Jaz. I'm a Gemini. I work full-time in media, and then also on the side I have a social media business, and then I also sometimes dabble in hospitality on the weekends as well, which essentially means I work 7 days a week, but I do it because I have a problem where I can't sit still. And then on top of that, I'm planning a wedding, which, as Jarrod said, is a great wedding. So
yeah, wow. Why is this all starting to make sense now?
Yeah, no, I genuinely think that, my brain just runs really, really fast. And, when I'm not thinking about wedding planning, I'm thinking about all the other things that I'm doing. As for wedding planning's going great. I think it's going great. Yeah.
We'll find out tonight.
We're going to find out on this podcast, on this conversation right here, right now, if I've made mistakes. But yeah, we've booked the venue, we've booked the vendors. I guess the only thing that we don't have, and like Matt and I were talking about it before, was we don't have the invitations out. So at the moment, it's just a vendor bender. And
amazing.
Sign us up, and you've got a pretty good list of vendors involved, which I'm sure we'll dive into soon anyway. But I'm excited for this wedding. I don't know about you, Tim, but it's going to be one for the ages.
100%. I think it might be worth mentioning. So, when is your wedding? Like, how far in advance are you getting married, Jaz and Jarrod?
Our wedding is July 27th next year. And
it's not too far away.
Yeah, it's less than a year now, but like I think that I had literally nearly like a good 70% of the wedding plans locked in by about April of this year. So
we got engaged at the end of December. Majority of the plans were booked in 1 month later at the end of January.
Yeah. We got engaged in New York. Jarrod did a very good job. It was Mission Impossible because basically I'm the planner of the relationship, and like I literally make plans about 6 weeks in advance. So he had to plan within my plans in order to achieve the goal of me not finding out. And I think maybe all of 4 days after the engagement, me and my bestie in New York City already had a mood board going with magazines on exactly what sort of vibes we wanted for the wedding. Jarrod, he's like, are you joking?
So I guess touching on that, where did you find? Obviously, you said magazines then, and you had a bit of a mood, but where was your sources of I guess
Inspiration.
inspo? Yeah.
Call me Gen Z, but TikTok. And Jared actually here is an Instagram Reels boy, so he'll see everything 3 months later. But
I won't get TikTok. I won't do it.
Yeah, but definitely TikTok with like just brides or like advice from brides and stuff. And then I don't know, I already had kind of just like a vibe in mind, so just speaking to I have two maids of honors or honor, maids of honor. Apparently, that's what you're supposed to say. I've been roasted for
By
it.
them.
So they have helped with the inspo as well.
So good. And when you guys were I guess early stage, maybe not you guys, maybe we're just talking to Jaz here, who knows? But when you guys were I guess originally discussing your wedding, did you have a vibe in mind? Did you what was the planning, I guess, thoughts around that?
I think pretty instantly we knew we wanted to go down the south coast. We seemed to go a lot down there as a couple. Before we got engaged, and just going down there on zoo trips or weekends away. And it was just one place where I felt we could get away as a couple and get away from the rat race in Sydney, I guess, and just be together and be present. And I thought that was a good, symbolization of getting married down there, just being together and present in that moment. So, and then on top of everything else, that's on her, I guess. How happy.
You were going so well then. That was getting deep. I was like, man, this guy's getting brownie points. And then he's like, and all the rest is just on her, sort of.
No. Okay, I'm going to fiercely defend Jared. That's it. We have always really liked the South Coast, and then Tilba in particular has had a special place in my heart for a long time. But then it's also been a place that I introduced Jared to, and we've gone there every year as a couple, multiple times a year. And another essential element of the wedding was animals. I had to have somewhere with horses or cows present. So
clearly that makes sense, because in my story questionnaire that you guys filled out for me, it's what does a perfect wedding date look like? And you're like, it's the perfect day and it's filled with animals. Matt, do you know how we rave on about client experience a little? And do you want to know the golden nuggets behind my client delivery system?
Not really, but anyway, I know you're going to tell me, so shoot.
Thanks, mate. Love that. But we're all about leveling up our client experience. And if you're still delivering wedding films to your couples with Google Drive or Dropbox, then you really aren't giving them the best experience, are you? And this is why I use VidFlow. It's a pay-per-use online platform that allows you to deliver on-brand websites with your very own domain for each of your clients while still being incredibly affordable. And VidFlow is accessible on mobile, desktop, and my absolute favorite feature is the fact that it links to your smart TV, so your couples can watch their wedding film on their own big screen. And with all that effort that you put into your film, you really want to ensure your couples can have the best experience possible. So use our code MakeItEpic20 for 20% off your VidFlow yearly premium membership.
Yeah. That's literally so South Coast and animals. So yeah.
Amazing. So did you have a vision for your wedding, Jaz or Jarrod, before you guys got engaged, or was it really thinking about it, all right, now we're engaged, we need to think of the overall arching vision for what we're going to do?
You can go first.
I don't know. I think me personally, the only thing I said no to was a church. That's probably about it. I was very open to anything else, but I think before we got engaged, I knew that it was looking somewhere down the south coast. I know Jaz mentioned a few times overlooking the water and on a big hill and just having great views. So I knew that was pretty set in stone early on, but it wasn't really what it looked like. Just, I guess just being there with Jaz was always going to be a good thing.
Well, I think sometimes as blokes, right, yes, we propose and, we we know there's going to be a wedding, but we don't really understand like everything that goes into it, and the thought and planning and the like the meticulous vision that we actually need to pull off like a wedding that's like super personal to us. I feel like Jaz has probably like carried a lot of that energy across, but Jaz, like walk us through like like the first couple of months of being engaged, right? And maybe for you, it was like the first month. You're like, what was like the vision, right? So you wanted a wedding down the South Coast. You wanted it to be full of animals. You wanted it not to be in a church. You wanted it to be fun. You wanted it to be different. Like you had a few negotiables and non-negotiables, right? Like walk us through like what they were.
Well, yeah, I guess the main like non-negotiables was South Coast and kind of the geographic. The main area we wanted was definitely Tilba, and then the secondaries, every single time we drove down to Tilba, I'd point at Seacliff House and say, I want to get married there. So that was a potential in the beginning as well. So like location, that just became a non-negotiable once we'd honed in on Tilba. And then kind of feeding into that non-negotiables was for me a high quality photographer and videographer. I am social media fiend. And for Jarrod, it was making sure that I was happy. So therefore that became his non-negotiable as well. But then I guess negotiables in a weird way was the venue, because we originally actually booked just a different venue. We started off with totally different venue in the same area. And the only reason why we changed our venue was, I guess, the non-negotiables feeded in, which was we wanted a seaside location originally with those farm animals and that whole vibe. And what we had originally booked, whilst it was a special place in our relationship, it didn't have seaside views and it didn't have farm animals. And like, it wasn't exactly the rolling hills that in my mind, and even in Jarrod's mind, unless you disagree, we'd kind of pictured. So we booked that venue, and then funnily enough, I was visiting this other venue just by pure coincidence for my social media side hustle, actually, because they're one of my clients. And she sold the venue to me. I literally sent a message to my girlfriends being like, oh my God, I'm going to have to change my wedding venue now. So, yeah, that happened. We changed wedding venues, and I guess that was because I realized that the vision, like what we'd booked, wasn't quite aligning with the vision, and that really was a non-negotiable. We did need those animals and that kind of picturesque, like fairy tale sort of imagery. So for me that was really important. And then I guess high quality content, and then definitely, I didn't realize it would be as important to me as what it's become, but nice flowers. I know that they're so expensive, but the whole aesthetic of really nice florals that tie into the venue, that has definitely become a non-negotiable. There's been a few debates with my mother, love her, about the cost of flowers, but at the end of the day, I think quality is well worth it in the end, and I do think that I'll be very happy on the day with the vendors that I've invested in, because I'm not sacrificing quality.
Yeah, amazing. And I suppose like speaking like on vendors, like did you have a hard time like choosing vendors? Like did you have a process? Was it, like talk to as many vendors as possible, see who you connect with, or, like I know price is always like a factor, but like were there other considerations like when you were doing your like vendor research? Must have a TikTok account.
TikTok, but also Instagram definitely was research. And then weirdly enough, like I just Google searched like South Coast photographers and things like that. I honestly think I found both of you guys on some dodgy South Coast forum, if I'm not going to lie.
Why does that not surprise us?
Main page. It wasn't through like main page Google. But like how I would do it from there is I just look at the vendors' websites. Like even though Instagram and TikTok are great, a good website always was most appealing to me, because I feel like I could do a lot of stalking without having to give away too much information or commitment. Us Gen Zs, we don't want to commit to things until we're ready. So, and I mean, so lots of stalking and link saving, and then sharing things with Jarrod and him saying like, that's great, whatever you want.
So is this a story like how you guys met as well? Like,
I guess the process was really finding people who I thought would resonate the best with the vision that I had going, but then also who would vibe best with Jarrod and myself, not just me, Jarrod as well. Because whilst I am an extremely extroverted person, I know that Jarrod sometimes is more reserved. So I wanted to make sure that the vendors that we worked with would bring out all the brilliance of him on the day and make him feel comfortable too.
That's a common want from most couples too, right? Like there's always, regardless of like how confident you are, there's always one out of the two of you particularly that may be a little bit more like reserved or a little bit more maybe like even anxious about the day and things like that. I find that like most couples, for me, like they learn pretty quickly that we're keen for a good time, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to be in the spotlight. And I think like what you just said there, and like all of those things, like it's amazing that you guys have thought about that, and like it's great that you've picked like vendors that resonate, I guess, with you. But maybe because I know the answer to this, but maybe tell us about your very specific vision when it comes to like the video aspect of the day. I know you've got like I know you're excited.
You stole
by
my
this.
question, mate. You stole my question.
Well, you can't ask a question about your own video, mate. Look at them fighting over there about who's going to describe what their vision is.
I'll just preface this as it is actually epic. So when you guys inquired with me, like most couples that inquire with me, like I'm not your average videographer, and they're not looking for your average like wedding film. So when I get something from, even if it's a bit of a brief about how they want to incorporate something within their wedding that's just so uniquely them, and we can add like an extra layer of like storytelling within their film, that like lights me up inside. Like you will not believe. Like it is crazy. But yeah, please continue, guys.
Well, what I was whispering to Jarrod, and how weird is this? We were talking about it last night. So
wait, me and you? Or?
No, when I was out with my friends.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
inspiration behind you weren't there, you weren't involved. Anyway,
that was great.
Behind the concept. The concept is we want to build a wedding mockumentary essentially, based kind of like The Office, wherein we have us as the main characters, and then we have side characters who are kind of in on the joke to help amplify the satire of the day. And then in addition to that, kind of get interviews throughout the day with certain guests, get those in and I guess Tim's role, and he already does it anyways, get those authentic, funny moments. And I feel like, we are quite young as a couple. We're 24. So in general, we're going to be the first wedding for all of our friends. So our friends' reactions in general are going to be hilarious, just because everyone's going to be like, what the fuck, Jaz and Jarrod are getting married? Oh, excuse my language.
We'll put a beep over that bad boy. No.
And I guess the main inspiration kind of stemmed from a video that we took for our year 12 graduation. I actually don't even know if I've shared this with either of you guys.
You have. I've watched it, and it's great.
Yeah, so Jarrod...
You look like a baby, Jaz. And Jarrod.
So I guess that's where the main inspiration stems from, that satire, those interviews, the weird behind the scenes clips, and obviously Jarrod was the star of the show for that, and then get a few bevies in him and he'll be the star of the show on the day as well.
Bit of liquid courage never goes astray. It's always good for the soul. But Tim, you got some pressure on you, mate, to bring this to life. So I'm excited. Your post-editing period is going to be a vibe. I'm ready for all the sneak peeks already.
Yeah, I've already written a couple of notes. I've already written a couple of notes on like a few things that I'm doing, but obviously we're going to discuss further about like different aspects of like how we incorporate that, and like it's also like there's a level of balance in making sure that we don't treat your day like it's a production either.
Yeah.
And we make and I'm really glad that as part of like the story questionnaire, you've actually like put in that, what's important to you on your wedding day is to actually have some time to decompress and eat pizza for 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. I'll be honest, we were inspired. I think, I don't know, Matt, if it was Matt or if it was, Matt posted a photo of a couple just eating pizza, and I was like, I want that.
Yeah, that was definitely a vibe. We had a good time with that. hanging
Yeah.
out with a box of pizza. Can't go wrong. And I think that it's amazing that you guys are so have like a pretty distinct vision, and it's a bit different. And I think for me and Tim, we do go to a lot of weddings, but the reason why we love weddings is because every wedding is different. For me today, I had a meeting with a couple who are like, oh yeah, we're gonna get married, and then we're just gonna go from one venue to another. And when we go from that one venue to another, we're gonna have a saxophone player lead us, and they're gonna play tunes through the city for us. And and I was like, this is amazing. So sorry, throwing under the bus here, Jared. But stuff like that for me makes me very excited. And the vibe that you guys have at the moment is amazing. I just wanted to touch on a little point that I was just thinking then of because there's a lot of there's always a lot of talk around these candid moments, and there's a lot of talk around these moments that are natural and authentic, and there's a lot of buzzwords around this. And so maybe this is not necessarily a question, or maybe it's more of a statement for if you're out there listening. My little golden nugget around this moment of the day is be yourselves. Be who you are on a daily basis. You guys are getting married. That doesn't mean that your photographer, videographer, whoever it is, comes in and makes you be someone that you're not. And I think for me and for Tim, we both would agree that the best weddings we ever shoot are the weddings that we turn up and the couple are ready to have a good time. They've got a rad attitude. They just want to get involved. They want to party. They want to move around. They don't want to feel like they're toy soldiers standing still. They don't care about their dress. They don't care about their suit. They don't care about their hair and the way that it's sitting. They want to have a good time. And when we mean they want to have it, they're in the moment. They're smashing out drinks and food and running around. And it's a little bit chaotic. Don't get me wrong, but it's organized chaos and it's fun at the same time. And it's you being genuinely who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, tell me, what's your favorite moment to capture on the day?
Oof. It has to be the moment all the hard work has paid off. You're now announced married, so the celebration can begin. And what better way to come down the aisle with some eco confetti popping like it's 2007.
2007, you say? Well, funny you say that. Imagine a one-stop shop that can give you the opportunity to purchase all the little things that make your day epic. Well, the Whole Bride is your shop, offering everything from bridesmaids boxes, clear umbrellas, confetti cannons, even some sparklers and a whole lot more.
Even fluffy slippers?
Yeah, mate, even the fluffy slippers for those toes of yours. Well, do not miss out on making your wedding day epic. Check out The Whole Bride and use our code EPIC15 to receive 15% off the Whole Bride store.
That's the biggest thing that gets us most excited is that, yes, you're sending us a lot of inspo and details, and we're just frothing on not only at the level of planning, but how involved you've been in making sure that you can incorporate that it's everything you want, but still maintaining the aspect of it's Jaz and Jarrod's wedding day, and these are the things that we do want included. So we already know you're gonna have some time apart, some time at canapes to enjoy drinks with family and friends. We know we're gonna have some amazing portrait time. We know there's gonna be some time to decompress. We're gonna make sure that there's time for sunset as well. And all these little things that you've kind of mentioned within your story as well about the things that are really important to you. And if you could look back on some of these special moments, what would they be? That's they're the little key things that tell me I should focus on for you guys as well. So all the information that you do provide, and this is I suppose a golden nugget for all couples out there, reach rely on your vendors, reach out to them, tell them the things that are important so then they can help you incorporate that into their wedding day. And I can't even begin to explain how excited I am to shoot this day.
I'm so excited as well. And I guess from a planning point of view as well, I am planning so hard right now because I want to be so chill on the day. I definitely know that I'm the sort of personality who needs contingency plans for contingencies. So I will have plan A, plan B, plan C, and it'll be perfect. And I'll be happy even if it rains. I'll have a plan for if it rains, if it's cloudy, if it's sunny, and that way I'll be happy on the day. And I know that if I'm happy, Jarrod will be a lot less stressed on the day too. So.
Golden nuggets for Jarrod, throwing on the bus. Have you got a golden nugget for us as well, mate? Because we've all got around a circle here. Throwing him under the bus. We'll put some waiting music in here. There's no pressure, mate. I'm not going to do that to you.
Any advice to another day, what would it be?
Keep your partner happy, as happy as possible.
That's so good.
Yeah, not gonna work.
Nailed it. Oh, that's amazing. So I suppose, like, thinking about like all the things we've kind of been chatting about, like, have you got one moment from the whole day, maybe you can both answer it, that you're like most excited for?
The minute Jazz walks down the line, for sure. It's probably something I've actually thought about for a few years now, even before I even thought about getting engaged. I think it's something, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the most. Not even just her in a dress, just I guess that realization that we're taking that next step into the relationship, and it's all just surreal. It's getting locked in. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. Cameras will be all on me for that one, I know. So
and that's what it's all about. Yeah, I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because like regardless of like what you have planned for the day, regardless of what the day looks like taken away like everything, like it is all just about you two as well. Like, and it's just about like the commitment that you guys are making. And this is the next step in your relationship. It's a next step like for the rest of your life. So I suppose as vendors, like we want to make sure that we can like elevate that as well. And that's why it's not, like treating your day like it's, like it is a production, because, as much as we want to elevate and create like banging content for you guys, like it is your wedding day. And this is why we want to take it like as a bit of like a roller coaster, right? Like we're going to have high energy moments, low energy moments, like, and the climaxes within like your story are like everything, the high energy moments and the low energy moments. So I think that's really special. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the first dance, I think.
Really? I like that.
I know, but I think I'm looking most forward to it because I do know that it'll probably be a journey to get there. We need to get Jarrod's confidence up. But I think it's going to be a really special moment because we've agreed that we're going to like take time out like an hour every week, like in the new year. So it'll be like 1 hour little thing that we do together every week. And then we're going to like blow everyone's socks off. I'm very excited.
Well, me anyway. I'll be
Yeah.
Well, we haven't told you yet, Jarrod, but we've actually organised for you guys to have your first practice tonight. So we're going to turn some music on. No, just joking. Well, I think I was thinking about it before about even Jazz, what you were saying about like your contingency plans and your thought process around the day. And I maybe like another little golden nugget, like, and me and Tim, like we've never been to a wedding that hasn't had an outcome that is you're married. Yeah, like, and that you essentially the outcome is you get married, you have the people you love there, you have a photo and video team there, you have your celebrant there, like everybody that like, you're going to have food, you're going to have drinks, everything's going to come to like together. Yes, it may not be as planned on paper. Maybe there may be some things that do go wrong, but guess what? The things that go wrong are the things we remember and we usually laugh about down the track. Yes, at the time, it's maybe not the thing that you're laughing about, but I promise you down the track, it's probably one of the memorable moments from the day that you will really enjoy. So I just think like you kind of got to take some of this stuff with a grain of salt, not stress the small stuff, and kind of like just really move along and enjoy the day for what it is and for whatever it may be. So yeah, like, and it sounds like even if you aren't in that stage yet, you're going to plan for that stage to happen in every aspect, Jazz, which I love. So
let's turn the tables a bit. Do you guys have a question for us at all?
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, Jarrod, when we were going through your vendor form the other day, Tim, Jarrod had heaps of questions. You're talking about like timelines and things like that. I mean, I know that you're going to do your fantastic timeline booklet, but do you have anything that you want to ask the boys?
I think so. Did I have a question?
I want to remind Jarrod.
I don't remember.
I guess like what for you? Actually, no. This is a good question for you guys. What's the ideal ceremony start time for winter?
Good. I like that. It's tricky, right? And this is like, it comes down to for us, like, and I think me and Tim are both on the same page, and we've spoken about before, is like having a plan as to what you want between your ceremony and your reception, right? And if you want to get to canapes, if you want to make sure that you're like having time to decompress and hang out with your family and friends, and like whatever it is that you want to do, you need to take all that into account and kind of work backwards from sunset to when the ceremony is, and make sure that you've got the time to do all the things you want to do. So typically, and this is being very generalized, you know, we're talking like obviously the ceremony, which typically goes for around half an hour. Then you've got like time to mingle, and that's like my favorite time post ceremony is for you guys to say hello to people. I call it like the woo girl moment, where all the girls are like really excited and they're like, woo, you know, that moment. And the guys are like, yeah, hey.
Where's the beers?
Kind of vibe. Yeah, here they are. I got one. Anyway, and then after that, we're like looking at some family photos, and then obviously there's like canapes, and then we're rolling into some portraits with you guys into sunset. My favorite thing about winter is that you can be selfish and you can shoot right up to sunset before you go into your reception.
Yeah.
So is there a perfect time? Maybe not a perfect time, but I would say you're probably looking at something like around at 2:00. So
yeah,
I've got it. I think I've got the guests arriving tentatively. Again, no guests are coming because we don't have invites out.
Me and Tim will turn up at 2:00. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Forever. Yeah, I think we're looking to have guests arrive at 2 and then kick off the ceremony not long after that. So
yeah, amazing.
I've got one more question, and I mean you can say both. Confetti cannons or sparklers? What do you favour more?
What's it? What does this reference?
One day, but like.
Okay, all right. Why not both?
Okay, fine.
I was thinking both, but Jarrod was like, the budget. But that's fine. Thanks for that.
We can give you a discount code for some confetti cannons.
Isn't it?
If you use our code for the whole ride, you will definitely get a sneaky little discount. So if you're out there, they have confetti cannons and sparklers. So, in the show notes, check it out.
It's actually pretty cheap. Like you can get yourself two cannons. And are you doing confetti as you like walking down the aisle, or did you want to use the cannon
for that?
I think for that cannons for that. If I'm honest, we don't have a flower girl. We don't have a flower girl. We're thinking a beer boy instead.
Yeah. That happened on the weekend, and it was a vibe.
Yeah,
that was so fun.
Not that we know. I
don't feel like we're a flower girl couple.
No, we don't.
What about a champagne girl or something that can like spray champagne? That's very
hands out glasses before she walks down the aisle.
Yeah, definitely looking at the confetti cannons and stuff. And then, what's your recommendation? What's your opinion on audiobooks versus standard guest books?
Well, it's very. I think this is very much a personal thing for you guys as well. It's not so much what's best. I think they both definitely have a place, but what more aligns with exactly who you guys are and what you want? Do you think you're the type of couple that'll sit down and read all the entries from your guests, or would you prefer just to cruise around the kitchen, doing your thing, listening to some of the audio from guests, and you get a bit more, I suppose, a sense of the moment as from audio.
How many beers they've had?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking at Off the Hook, which I know you guys also have another affiliate code for. So
look at this. This is this is promo. We don't even need any ads in this episode. Just Jaz come on here and just rattle off some ideas and questions, and look at us go.
I was looking at that, and I did show Jarrod some samples of people as the night's getting later, getting a bit looser, and he did think it was funny. So
yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I think it is different. It definitely it's something that I wouldn't say every wedding has an audio guest book, obviously, but there's definitely it's becoming more and more popular, I guess is what I'm saying. And I like it. I think it's cool. Me and Tim will leave you a message if you get an audio one. I don't really have great handwriting, so for me, I'm all about the audio guest book.
Way to go.
Yo, love the llama.
The most wedding that our venue had, the guests got to hand feed some baby cows. 11 o'clock at night, all these intoxicated guests were feeding from a bottle these cows, and I was like, this has to happen at my wedding now.
Oh, that's so good.
It has to be baby cows.
Where's the cheeseburgers?
That's so weird.
But All right, guys. So, like, you're really at a stage where, like, things are really starting to come together for your planning. What's some advice that you have for couples that are in probably a similar stage as you, but maybe, like, a little bit, like, earlier on in their planning? They haven't really, like, locked in all their vendors. What's some, like, golden nuggets for the couples out there that are planning their wedding right now?
I think, and this is ironic considering it's me, don't rush as much. Like, you don't need to rush. You do have time to weigh up your options, particularly if you're planning a wedding that's, say, 18 months ahead of time when you're starting to wedding plan. You don't need to rush. Like, you can book vendors 12 months out, and yes, you might need to make a few inquiries before you find availabilities, but I can guarantee you will find a vendor that aligns with your values, even if you wait 12 to 14 months before your wedding. I think that just allows you a little bit more time, one, to enjoy being a newly engaged couple. I think for Jared and I, there was kind of immediately a lot of conversations about the wedding itself, and that did allow for stress that probably didn't need to come into the conversation so early in our new engagement. So give yourself time to just enjoy being fiancés or fiancées, as I like to call it. And yeah, when I announced my engagement, that's what I called my friends and said I'm a fiancée. Anyway, my golden is take it slow, weigh up your options, and really just make sure that whoever you're reaching out to does align with, like, your vibe, I guess, and kind of what you want your day to be. What's your golden?
Nailed it.
Are you a Gemini?
Yeah, I'm a Gemini.
I actually Googled before I had it. I've got it still up on my computer about a Gemini because I was like, she says she's a Gemini, but, like, is she? And when I read it, I was like, oh my goodness. It's like playful, curious, constantly juggling a variety of passions, hobbies, careers, and friends groups. The social butterfly, quick-witted, can talk to anyone about anything, and has been buzzing between happy hour, dinner parties, and dance floors. And I was like, the further this conversation has been going on, the more I'm like, oh my Lord, she is a Gemini.
Yeah, amazing. Well, let's start to wrap it up there. Jared, I wouldn't mind seeing you get into bed, mate. I can see you rubbing those eyes.
Got to get that beauty sleep, get ready for that wedding.
Listen, I get up whenever he gets up too. I want to just put it out there. I'm up at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
I'm only up for 10 minutes, but I'm up at 4 a.m.
Next month, and then I go when she goes back to bed.
Yeah, it's great.
I tell you what, I'm damn excited for this wedding, and I'm very keen to see how it all plays out. I dare say we'll be getting you guys back on the other end of it for sure to just debrief about everything and have a good chat, and maybe, like, find out if there was anything you'd do different, or if there's anything you'd, like, maybe change, and, like, maybe just the thing that you were thinking was going to worked the best. I don't really know. But we're definitely keen to get you guys back on for sure. And we are damn excited for your day.
Woo, woo. Exciting.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for jumping on, guys, and having a chat with us. We really appreciate it. And all the best over the next, 6 to 8 months of planning. Get it done. You've got a lot done already, but, it's great.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
See you guys.
Apologize in advance.
Legends!
Are you sick of seeing the plain old written guest book that you'll never, ever read again?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually don't think I've seen mine since my wedding night, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen mine either, which is really interesting. But imagine capturing your guest voices with a retro phone that's a bit more epic and receiving all the recordings as an online gallery.
That sounds absolutely amazing. Imagine all the, different voices you'll get to hear from everybody. Some of the drunken ones, and then also grandma maybe leaving you a cute and romantic one as well.
Sentimental voice memos from Nan and from family members, and then just imagine the boys giving you an absolute roasting.
So
well,
good.
Check out Off the Hook. Use our code MIA50 and get yourself a sneaky $50 discount.